Zaytoven.
Zaytoven. The one and only Zaytoven.
Yes, sir.
He's got records with everybody in the game. I mean, he's been in the studio with the biggest names, you know, the Nicki Minaj's, the Futures, the Gucci's. The list is too long. The godfather of trap music. How are you a church kid in the trap?
I don't know. That's a good question. I used to be scared to play my music. My dad a preacher, my mom choir director. They don't want to hear the music I'm making. I remember.
What inspired you to start trying to get mixed up with a lot of these young Christian rappers?
I'm trying to make hard, sinister music that's dark. I can't do it. Much as I try to, it just won't come out of me. If I had it my way, it would have been that from the beginning.
Yeah.
It's, believe it or not, it's hard to get in the gospel space. Do you listen to secular rap music now?
This is The Deep End with Lecrae.
All right, y'all. Let me tell y'all may be, you know what I'm saying, late to the party if you don't understand the level of greatness we dealing with today. You may just know him as a producer, but he really is like the godfather of trap music. Like what you listening to in Atlanta today, you know, he is because of this man. Like he originated the sound of what we call trap music today. You know, he's got records with everybody in the game. I mean, he's been in the studio with the biggest names, you know, the Nicki Minaj's, the Futures, the Gucci's, the list is too long. You got to get on the internet to see the list. But more importantly, he been in the booth with myself and 1K Few. Sure. You dig what I'm saying? Sure. So he's not just a super producer, not just an incredible musician, but man, he's a husband, he's a father, he's a man of God. And we're going to tap into that today. We got my brother Zaytoven in the building. Zayt, what's up, bro?
What up, Craig? What's up,
man, brother? It's been too long. I be seeing you, though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's funny because I be seeing you at volleyball games.
Yeah.
Hey,
volleyball
man.
daddies. Yeah.
Both our daughters play volleyball, and that junk be taking up time, bro.
Man, what?
Time, bro.
That's the real job.
I can't. I'm like, I don't even be seeing my daughter half the time. I'm like, man, she stay gone. You know what I'm saying? Traveling, doing something. I'm trying to remember. When I first met you, I feel like it was conversations about Let the Trap Say Man, right? That's when I first met you. And we got to talking about working on that project together. And it was because I had seen, I think was it Big Sean and somebody, I feel like a producer and somebody had put a project out together. Maybe it was Quavo with somebody else, but I was like, yo, I want to do something like that. And then I tapped in with you, and you know, because I knew some of your story, but I first heard your music was So Icy. So
back in the day.
Yeah. So Icy is funny because I don't feel like that's the sound that you ended up with now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But you know, So Icy was the sound that developed because you was in the Bay.
I was in the Bay Area,
right? So a lot of people don't know this. So talk about like your upbringing. Like you was a military kid.
I'm a military kid,
yeah. So you born overseas.
In Germany, yep, Frankfurt, Germany.
Yeah.
But I feel like, you know, me being a military kid, it helped me just adapt. Like, you know, it helped me to adapt to new things, new people. Help me to get out of whatever comfort zone I'm in to, okay, now I'm uncomfortable because I got to start all over again.
Yeah.
But it was refreshing for me. So I think, like, when you say the sound of, like, So Icy, it's not the sound that you hear Zaytoven today.
Yeah.
But at that time, I was, like, in the Bay. So, of course, I got that Bay Area music. That's the type of music I listen to.
It's interesting because being a celebrity, you get access to things other people don't. Like being the first to access this content. If you want to be the first to access content like this and not have to wait a week or who knows how long before you can see this content, then you should subscribe to B-Side, where you will get the content immediately as soon as it drops and you won't have to wait at all.
Like, I know some of your history, and I mean, we won't touch on some of it, but I think, you know, especially for my audience, man, they want to know Zay the person. But like some of your history, you know, you was in the Bay. Your folks was like, hey, we moving to Atlanta.
Yeah.
They let you stay out there
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you was making some moves with
Yep.
Messy Marv and JT the Bigger Figure
Yep,
and all
yep,
of them. So
yep.
talk to us about what was that like?
I was fresh out of high school.
And they let you stay by yourself.
Well, I was staying with the pastor, the church I played at in California.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. No, I wasn't
Okay.
staying by myself. That's one thing I never have done. I never stayed by myself, and I never had like a roommate where, you know how two people get together
Yeah.
and we stay together. And I never done that before.
Okay.
So that was the time I was staying at the pastor's house. Pastor Roxanne and Willie out there at JC Fans.
Yeah.
And they helped shape me a whole lot too.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I grew up in the church.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I went from living in Mississippi to Columbus, Georgia, to then moving to California. So, I just seen a wide range of things. And church is done in Mississippi is done different in California. It's just, it's just different. So, all this stuff helped shape and mold, I think, who I am and my sound and the way I listen to music, the way I hear music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, all those experiences what, made me who I am today.
How are you a church kid in the trap?
I don't know. That's a good question.
But I'm saying it like, even we can get to Atlanta, but even before Atlanta, you was Messy Marv and JT the Big Figure,
yep.
like street legends in the music world and in the Bay Area. But I'm just like, how did that even happen? How'd you get connected to these street cats? And you a church kid?
I'm a church guy.
How'd that happen?
I think it was just God putting the pieces together, really, because I'm not trying to do rap music. I wasn't into that.
Yeah.
All I know was gospel music. All I would do is learn church songs. That's, that I've been a church musician since I was, super young.
Yeah.
So one time I was playing the keyboard out at the football game where the high school I was at, in San Francisco. And that's when JT the Bigger Figure seen me like, oh, bro, he dope on the keys. I want to get him in the studio. I ain't never been in no studio before. I was just jamming, playing the keys. I might play whatever song that's on the radio. It just make the crowd, they're like, okay, Zay over there jamming, as a musician. So that when I went to the studio, it's like, that's when I fell in love with, hold on, I could put the stuff I'm playing actually to a beat and put it on tape and I can go home and listen to it.
Yeah.
So I just fell in love with that.
So was your parents, did they have a problem with that at first? Like, hey, we don't like what you doing over here or what you got going on?
It wasn't until it came to their doorstep. Cause like when I'm making beats out there in California, they live in Georgia, you know what I mean? So it's like, you couldn't really tell what I was doing. It wasn't until I moved into their house.
Okay.
You got people like Gucci coming in and everybody coming in, the whole house smelling like weed now. And you looking at these people that's coming in like, wait a minute, who is that?
Yeah.
What y'all doing downstairs? Like, I don't, my dad military.
Yeah.
He like, hey, bro, I don't know what you think this is.
Yeah.
But this ain't happening. This ain't no studio. You ain't finna be running folks in and out of here. And I didn't know what was gonna happen. My mama didn't know. My dad didn't know. It's just, it's just something that I started falling in love with doing it, making music, recording. And my mama was the one that always like, she'll go, they upstairs. She one of those people that kind of help push you into something. Like she wants you to be great and big.
Mm-hmm.
Pops is more like a real man. It's like, bro, you need to go get a job.
Okay.
You need to do this. You got to pay, this how it's supposed to go.
Yeah.
But Mom's is like, she seeing me making music. She don't know what it's leading to. I know she see a whole bunch of street guys coming in and all that. But she's the type that, okay, she gonna close the door upstairs where my pops, maybe he can't hear it that much down there. He don't know that, people at the house 3 o'clock in the morning recording.
Yeah.
Hopefully he don't wake up, you know what I mean?
So Moms was like kind of being the supporter.
She was supporting her. I gotta give her that because that's what she was kind of doing.
So now what part of Atlanta is this at the time?
We in Latonia.
Okay, so on the east side.
On the east side, yeah.
So you got cats coming from all over Atlanta, all the way to the east side.
Man, that house, bro, listen, if you seen how many cars is lined up down that street parked to come to my house, you think I'm really selling drugs in the house.
Was the neighbors tripping?
No, neighbors weren't.
Neighbors weren't tripping.
Because you seeing Bentleys and Ferraris and stuff pull up.
That's
the
crazy.
house ain't but $150,000, but the cars and the people that's pulling up, it's like, man, I don't know what they
cars
got
worth
going.
more than the house.
They like, I don't know what's going over at that house over there. But.
So, okay, your mom a choir director,
Mm-hmm.
pops
preacher.
preacher.
Mm-hmm.
You a church musician.
Mm-hmm.
You got all the dope boys coming to your house
Yep.
to make music.
Yep.
What there had to be some moments of clash where it's like, all right, it's a clash. Like what was some moments where you like, all right, this is starting to get, we got to change some stuff up here.
It never been a clash the whole time I was there.
Wow.
I mean, we got bigger and bigger. I mean, songs on the radio, #1 song on the radio. Now we blowing up. But everybody know, man, we going to Zay mama house. Like Zay basement, his mama house, that's where everybody want to go.
They respected it.
They respected, never had no fallouts, no fights. And I know I didn't have guys come over there that see each other like, oh, I got a problem with him.
Yeah.
But just the respect, I guess, you know, just the anointing that's on that house,
I'm about to say.
never no problem.
God was definitely doing something unique.
Definitely.
I seen, you know, now when you talk about when you first linked up with Gucci, right? And you was like, this is the most grimiest dude you ever seen. Like, you know, Gucci, anybody who know anything about Gucci Mane was out there.
Yeah, for
like
sure.
he, you know, in my black tee,
Yeah, for
took
sure.
the streets by storm. He was robbing,
For sure.
you know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Kicking in doors,
Yeah.
doing all that type of stuff. How did that, like, I know it started off musically, but then y'all became friends. Like, how did that develop? Like, when you got to see his world and he got to see your world, like, what was y'all experience looking like when you seeing what his world looked like, he seeing what your world looked like? What was you taking away? What was he taking away?
I mean, I definitely felt like it was a respect there the whole time.
Yeah.
And for some reason, my whole life, whoever I'm super close to, like my best friend or whoever I'm with all the time, me and that person is apples and oranges. We ain't nothing alike. It's always been like that. It's like, so you might find me around the grimiest, streetest guy in the world, and it's like, well, Zay ain't nothing like that. Why is y'all always with each other?
Yeah.
I never understood that, but I always feel like, you know, that's God placed me in different places. Because if you look at Gucci now, Gucci is the guy he used to brag on about me. He used to go brag about me. Now this is like this the grimy street guy that'll kick your dough in.
Yeah.
But he bragging on, man, this my producer Zaytoven. He don't drink, he don't cuss, he don't smoke, he don't, you know. So that lets me know he admires my character.
Yeah.
And it lets me know I don't gotta try to change or try to be somebody I ain't.
Yeah.
Even though I'm around somebody that might, you know, knock your head off.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and I think what I learned from him is like he's a super hustler. If it weren't for Gucci, I don't think I would have the same work ethic that I have.
Okay.
I don't think I would listen to music the same way, because when I was with Gucci, to him, Zay, whatever you do sound good. Let's not overthink. Let's just do it.
Get it going.
Let's
Get
just
it going.
go.
Like
I know
Tupac
you play.
was.
Yeah, it's like, bro,
Yeah.
like Zay, you ain't gotta add nothing else. That's it. I'm ready to rap.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until those songs start becoming big where I'm like, oh, if he wouldn't have stopped me, I would have messed up. I probably would have messed the music up, because I'm thinking from a music standpoint.
Yeah.
Like when I was selling Tank, like, man, you know, you trying to be too talented.
Yeah.
Sometimes we got to strip it down and say, nah, that's enough right there.
Yeah.
You know, we got to overdo it.
You can, because I know you can crank out volume.
Volume.
You can crank out volume, and so you saying, we look at Gucci now and we see like, oh, this dude that matured, become a husband and a consistent person, and you have become a volume artist, a producer. So it's like y'all rubbed off on each other in that kind of way, which I think is fire.
Yeah.
But like, bro, we different. So maybe, you know, it's just you. I know me.
Okay.
And maybe it's because I wasn't raised in the church that I get around too much action. Like, I start to become a lot like it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it took me a long time before I could like not get too pulled into the chaos, to the nonsense. So, you know, when I'm working with Ty Dolla $ign, or I'm working with Big Crit, I'm a little more mature at this place in my life to where I can handle if they got folks come around doing certain things, whatever. You never drank, you never smoked, so that was never gonna be a temptation for you.
Yeah.
But like, you know, we all got a vice. We all got something. Like, was there times, I know it's been times for me where it's like, man, my vice might have been women. My vice might have been, you know what I'm saying, like falling in love with the money too much. You know what I'm saying? And if I'm around them folks, and they don't care about that type of stuff, I get moved over there. Was there ever any situations for you where you was like, woo, I'm getting a little too close to the fire. I may need to pull back on certain things?
I must say, man, I don't, not that I remember. I always been like this chill, calm, almost shy, reserved, play the background type of guy.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And that's been my character this whole time.
Yeah.
I never just super crazy about women. I was one of those guys, I get like a girl,
Yeah.
and it's kind of like, you know, this my girl. Like, you know what I mean? I ain't got
But
to
you
have,
was raised to see that too.
yeah, I was raised, I'm looking at
Yeah.
my mom and dad. It's
Yeah.
like, that's just kind of how I am. Of course, now at a certain age, you got all the girls like you. You want to, you
sure.
gonna hang out with different girls. But I never been like, okay, I'm with all these girls. I'm sleeping
Yeah.
with all these. That ain't never been no vice for me.
Yeah.
Like you say, like drugs and alcohol never been something. I think that's a segue to lead into other vices. If you start drinking and smoking, then you're gonna enjoy the strip club too much. You're gonna enjoy women too much. You're gonna start enjoying that other stuff too much.
Okay.
I was always one of those guys that, and I think I'm still like that. I'm still one of those, I want to please my parents. I want to please the pastor or the church that I go to. It's like, I don't want to look crazy to these people. I want to, you know, it's almost like I always wanted to be that guy.
Yeah.
I always felt like, since I'm the oldest too, I got 2 younger brothers and a younger sister, that I always felt like, okay, I'm the example around the house too. So I can't get in all that. I don't want to get in all that because it's gonna be my fault if they get into it.
Yeah.
One of those type of
Did you
things.
ever feel any conflict? Like, you know, obviously you can't control what happens after you make the beat. You know what I'm saying? But did you ever feel any conflict? Like, dang, I didn't know this song was gonna turn into this, or like So Icy turned into like a whole big thing. You know, murders happening. You know what I'm saying? Did you ever feel any kind of conflict in your soul about that, or how'd you wrestle with that?
I felt that ever since I got into just doing street rap music. Like, I'm known as almost like the godfather of trap music.
Yeah.
Not saying I started no trap music or none
sure.
of that. It's just the sound that people know of trap music is almost like that's
your sound.
Zaytoven. It's like
Yeah.
Zaytoven. I never in my life thought I would be in that position.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So of course, when I used to be scared to play my music. You know, my dad a preacher, my mom choir director. They don't want to hear they don't want to hear the music I'm making. I remember the pastor I play for now, Kendrick Meredith, he stood up in church, and this one I just did Gucci Mane's CD, Hard to Kill. He stood up before he preached, holding up the CD, man, we just so proud of our musicians. They told me he just executive produced this Gucci Mane. I'm like, bro, why? Like, don't do that. Like, why are you doing that? Don't do that. Like, bro, they don't need to hear nothing on they don't need to hear nothing on that CD right there.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, but it's like that alone helped give me confidence. Like, well, I'm in the right place.
Yeah.
Every pastor I've played for is another pastor named Pastor Brown. I've been close to like preachers. Maybe because I'm a musician and, you know, I'm a musician or whatever. I've always been close to them. So they'll say certain things to me. They'll see me sometimes in an interview trying to explain, you know, why I'm in doing this type of rap music and all that. And they always let me know, man, that's not for you. Don't have to explain that. You know.
So you have supporting leaders with you.
Yeah.
When do you feel like, for you personally, because, you know, at some point in time, even if you're raised in the church, it stops being your daddy's faith, your mama's faith, it becomes yours. When do you feel like you owned your own faith and you was like, oh, shoot, I got to have my own relationship with God? When did that start to develop for you?
I think it started early. It started early for me.
Okay.
Cause I was very independent. Like, I'm one of those, like, my kids is different. My relationship with my kids is different than my mom and dad relationship with me. Back in the day, it's almost like, you know how you go outside, you just go outside, you can go wherever you want to do, play, just be home before the
street light come on.
Yeah, when the street light come on. You know what I mean? So it's like I was very independent. I used to be going out playing for gospel groups when I was young, coming in 2, 3 in the morning. I'm talking about 11, 12 years old.
Yeah.
You know, so I developed my own relationship through me just being an own individual. I always paid for my own stuff. Any school I went to or you know, when I went to barber college, like I took care of stuff on my own.
Yeah.
So, you know, I was leaning on just my own faith. I'm playing at these different churches. My parents ain't with me all the time. They're not going where I don't know if they know what I'm doing a lot of times. They just like, they feel like, go ahead and go.
Yeah. So it was, you saying it was that time in your life where it's like, all right, if I'm praying myself, I'm reading the Bible myself. I ain't waiting until somebody else come grab me and do this.
No.
Yeah.
That's just I think that's just something that naturally just grew in me because how much, you know, I'm in church and how much I hear the word. You know, you get a certain age, the word, you start hearing a preacher, now the word kind of is convicting me a certain type of way. It's hitting me like, well, oh, wait a minute. That just hit me in the heart right there, what he just said. You know, when you too young, it's like, it don't even matter.
Whatever.
Yeah.
You counting the times on the ceiling.
It's like
whatever.
Man, whatever.
Yeah.
But, you know, even with certain teenage years or, you know, I had a lot of people around me, man, that kind of talked to me and gave me good advice, helped, you know, be mentors. You know, even street guys been mentors to me.
Yeah.
That ain't got nothing to do with the church. It's just watching them move and how they operate. It's just like
some of them street dudes really,
Man,
they faith will stretch you.
they'll stretch you. Definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
My uncle is really my own pops. You know what I'm saying? He been in the streets his whole life, but he found the Lord in a crack house.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And now he'll be on the phone. He know the Bible backwards and forwards. You know what I'm saying? Even and it's like, man, he like, yeah, I was a Compton Crip, but and he be giving. I'm like, dang. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let's talk about the bag. Let's talk about the money. Because when the money start happening, when did you start seeing the bag?
So my first bag was so icy, and this is $25,000. Now that's not a whole lot of money, but for somebody like me that never seen $10,000 at one time,
they paid you up front?
Man, cash money. My buddy came wrapped. I'm talking about it was in a towel, and it was just the money just stacked up like this. He said, "You want me to help you count it?" Like, you know.
So he got the money from who paid for the track? Gucci or Jeezy or one?
Gucci.
Okay.
But it was Big Cat. He was with Big Cat at the time. But you know, it's one of those things. It's like coming to my house with this, you know, at my mama's house with this amount of money. I actually said, "No, you ain't gotta help me count it." I let my mom and dad help me count it upstairs in their room.
Wow.
Because I wanted them to
feel that.
Like, and I gave them both $5,000 a piece that same day. Like, here go $5,000 for you. Here go $5,000 for you.
Wow.
We ain't never. I don't know if they even seen that at one time. Cash money, you know, $25,000. But it made me feel so good. It's like, now I've been bringing these people in and out your house all this time. I didn't know this was gonna lead to this.
Yeah.
But look what just happened.
That's crazy.
So my dad went from, hey man, I come and throw that equipment outside and kick it and break it on the ground. Man, this ain't no studio till, hey, Zay, now would y'all need some snacks down there? You need a little baby refrigerator? What you need down there? You know, it changed just like that. But I understand my dad so much because I learned a lot from him. He's a military man, but he's a real man. He's a God-fearing man. That's another person I draw a lot of faith from. I watch my dad just, you know, preach and pray all the time, and just his faith and how he is just as the man of the family. So I draw a lot from him.
He was a good example for you.
Great example. Still to this day. Yeah.
So you got 25 racks on So Icy. And then, you know, that's a moment. When do you feel like you was like, oh shoot, I'm getting some serious money, like to where you was like, man, I'm about to buy something big. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what was the first big thing you?
Man, I spent all my money right then. I got that little money. But I'm a producer, so man, I bought studio equipment.
Oh, you invested that money. Man. That's what you did.
I just wanted, man, my mama house studio was looking like, bro, this too much stuff to be in here. I just kept adding on, just. You know, when you're a producer, especially a keyboardist, man, you want the newest keyboard to come out. Okay. You want the brand new drum machine. What else y'all got? Oh, I need them speakers. I want the high end stuff. Yeah. So now I did that, but then I bought me some Gucci boots. I bought me a fur coat. I bought, you know, I started doing.
Hold on, Zay. You went and got the fur?
And it was a method to the madness though. Cause I never, even though I'm this quiet, reserved guy behind the scenes, even in high school, I always was the guy. Like, I can dress real good. It's like I was still unique and special. Even
you got that Native American hair texture.
It's like, you know what I mean? It's like all the girls like me. I'm just like, you know, I'm one of those guys. So I always invested in my appearance.
Okay. Yeah.
And I felt like that was kind of one of my edge in the game. It's like I don't feel like I'm that great of a producer. My confidence is not like out through the roof at being a producer, because I can go to the studio, hear somebody else's beats and be like, bro, my beats don't sound nowhere good as that right there. So I said, well, let me try to take some of the tension off the beats and focus it on me. Dang, Zay got that fur coat on, he got a Gucci boot, got a diamond chain on. Like he must be somebody.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Makes sense.
It's like people start looking at me like, bro, I want to get some beats
He
from him.
He that dude. I need beats from Buddy.
I want him beats from him.
But you really, you started to form, like, okay, so you doing So Icy, but then like you got Gucci and T.I., they sound real polished. The sound that they starting to get, David Bannon, all them type.
Yeah.
But you grabbed it felt like they was like, a couple big superpowers, but you grabbed all the streets.
That's it.
You said everybody in the streets, all the folks, you was like the people's champ producer.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So when did you feel like it was a movement happening? Because I remember when I got to Atlanta, I've been here since the early 2000s, and I feel like it was a season, bro, where you couldn't turn a corner without hearing your music in the streets.
Couldn't hear it.
If it was Gucci, it was OJ, it was Waka, it was like,
everybody.
man, like, what did that feel like? Do you remember that season?
I don't, man. I go back now and just like, bro, that's crazy. Because I didn't know what I was doing. I don't think none of us knew what we was doing. We was just recording music every day, all day.
Yeah.
So I didn't know. It's like I go back in, because I got every session, every beat that I ever done.
Yeah.
I can you can come to my house right now, I can pull up every Gucci song with the session right now. I still got it, and I go back and listen to it like, bro, what was I on back then? Like, I don't even know what I was thinking about. Like, listening to them beats, like, bro, I don't know what I was on.
You was just in the zone.
I was just in the zone.
And the world around you was like, okay, hey.
I didn't even realize, you know how you go back and look like, oh, man, I was on something else back then. Yep.
Okay, so was money coming in at this time? Was you seeing the money?
Man, I'm like a dope dealer.
Okay.
Because my mama house is cars lined, I'm talking about through the whole neighborhood. You got people waiting in their car, like, was Zay in there working with his one dude, making him a beat. Then when he come out, I'm going to go in. And, I'm selling beats $2,000, $2,500 a pop. But it's like, man, I probably made more street money than I made industry money.
Wow. Just from dope boys buying beats.
Man, these guys coming with 20, 30,
Let me get 10 of them. Let me get 10
100,000. It's like, so that was my hustle. I didn't even care about. I always felt like my music wasn't even good enough to be on these big superpower albums or these big artists. I feel like they don't hear my music and find value in it. But all these street guys, they feel like I need Zaytoven.
Yeah.
I need Zay. That's it.
I heard a lot of them say too, a lot of dope boys, because I used to stay on the east side, and I stayed off of Boulder Crest for a minute, so I was in the trenches, and I would hear your music. I'm out there just trying to be a light in the community. You know what I'm saying, talking to folks, and they would say, when I hear Zay music, I hear church. Did you know that was happening? Was you doing that on purpose, or like?
I've been in church all my life, so I think it didn't happen it couldn't happen no other way. I didn't know what else to do. I'm playing pianos and keys and organs and stuff because I don't know nothing else. Yeah. I'm trying to make hard, sinister music that's dark. I can't do it. Much as I try to, it just won't come out of me. So this is what the music ended up sounding like.
It's funny because it's like, I think about Motown. Motown was this like polished brightness, but then you got Stax in Memphis, and it was like, it was just grimy, but it was real. It was soul music, and I feel like that's what you was making. You was making soul music for rap, for hip hop artists. So you getting all this dope money from dope boys and so on and so forth. But you said you weren't thinking about the industry, but then you did, like, placements start happening. Like you building careers, Nicki Minaj and Waka and so on and so forth. You start getting the big placements and all this type of stuff. What is that like at that time?
The placement still came from the guy you never heard of. All my placements still came from if you think about Migos and Versace, you'll think about, okay, Zay did Migos, you know, Versace with Drake.
Yeah.
But they wasn't Migos at, you know.
That was on the
So
ground.
all my placements really came from underground artists that ended up blowing up. Young Dolph, he wasn't no big artist at the time, but then once he blew up, it's like, okay, Zaytoven got placements on his album, but I was working with him
when
before he blew
nobody
up.
knew who he was.
Yeah.
So that's like the secret is you really
Still
like
to this day, bro. I don't get placed. I ain't been getting placements like that. It's like I gotta work with an artist to get them where they going. Then it's like, okay,
you like a real A&R in a lot
Pretty
of ways.
much,
You
yeah.
like develop these cats and then they end up blowing up. But your sound is the staple sound of that era. So a lot of times you probably flying under the radar in terms of how much money you getting as well. But here's what I do know. I know you getting money. I done been around you, Zay. We sat in that Sprinter.
Yeah.
Let me tell y'all, man, I sat in the Sprinter with this
you
dude.
sure did.
I
Yeah,
sat
without
in the
buying
Sprinter.
jewelry.
What?
Yeah, I forgot.
A jewelry man
Yeah,
came on the Sprinter. He was like, man, I got some jewelry to sell. Now this time I'm like, it looked good. But when he started throwing them prices out, I was like, woo, he throwing them prices out. And Zay like, yeah, let me get a couple of them. I said, oh, you're getting a couple of them. You said what you said at the time. You said, yo, man, when you hang around Gucci, man, you had
got to.
So,
but see, that's what I learned from a lot of these guys. Like, and one thing about Gucci is what has kept me relevant today is that. Like, that stuff helps keep me, you know,
especially in the space you work in.
In the space that what I work in, it helps people still talk about it. It's like I just bought that Cybertruck, the first one in Atlanta to get that Cybertruck.
Yeah.
And I done wrapped it black, put wheels on it. Man, people I ain't talked to in years call me, hey, bro, you got that, what's the name truck? You got that Cybertruck?
Yeah.
Not that I care so much about the cars or none of that.
It's a commercial.
You said it right on.
It's a commercial.
It's a commercial.
And I get it. You know who taught me that was E40. E40 buys season tickets to the Warriors because he's like, man, that's free marketing. He's like, y'all talking about how much money them season tickets cost. I'm in front of the world every
right.
game.
That's right.
And I was like, that's a businessman right there. That's smart. You know what I'm saying? So I can definitely see that. First of all, my question, how you get the Cybertruck, bro? I was trying to get one. You pull the string or something?
No, it's the money. It's like, you know, anything when you spending over what it costs, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, you can get it.
Okay. He was like, look, I got what y'all looking for, and let me get the Cybertruck. Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you who pressured me, my kids and my wife.
Okay. Let's talk about that.
Because they like, daddy, you need that. And it's like, man, you know, when you get that from your kids and your wife, I got to go get it.
So you really kind of like, in my mind, you like J. Cole or like Kendrick in a way because you do your thing and you get out the way and go back to your family.
Yep.
A lot of people don't know you a family guy.
More than anything.
Yeah. So your son is a superstar athlete. Your daughter playing volleyball. Your wife. How'd you even meet your wife?
So I was a barber, you know, and when I moved to Atlanta, I was just my job was I was just a church musician. So, you know, I play in at funerals and weddings and then all the church services and all that. Yeah. But I was, you know, I used to be the barber for all the guys at high school with all the basketball team. And I was cutting hair. That's how I was making money in California. So when I got here, my mom was like, well, you need to go to school or do something. Like, she ain't just like, you don't need to just sit and play at churches all the time. You need to. So I was like, okay, well, I go to barber college. I went to the hair schools on Candler Road, and they had a cosmetology side and a barbering side. So that's where I met my wife right in there.
Oh, a cosmetology school?
Yeah, because she a hairstylist. And it's just, you know, it's one of those things you get to hanging out. And we never just got together to be getting together. You know, like we trying to be with each other. We just like a cool, I'm new out here. She from Atlanta. We started hanging out, been friends for a long time, and it just developed into this the woman I want to be with.
So did she see your rise? She was there the whole...
bragging. She the one helped me get there.
Wow.
Because she bragged, well, y'all need to, like, if she run into, like, she used to work at the, what is it called? It's like the CD store in South DeKalb Mall. Okay. So if somebody big walk in there, say if a T.I. or somebody or connected to a big artist, you need to, my boyfriend beats, you need to, you know, you need to get some of these. You need to hear him.
Probably ain't trying to hear about your boyfriend, little mama, you know what I'm saying?
But she was one of them. Like, you know, so So she was there. She seen it from the beginning.
So that's really, you know, you was pushing up against what was normal by messing around and getting married and starting a family in the world you was in. How did people look at that? Did they respected it, I'm sure.
Man, they brag on it and respect it so much. I think that's where I get my biggest respect.
Really?
From everybody in the industry because they see how I am with my family.
Yeah.
And most guys really want that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Most people really want that.
Yeah, they want that.
Really
Because
want that.
a lot of especially street dudes didn't have it.
They didn't have
so
it,
they
so
want
that. Yeah, they want that.
How did you, so here's my struggle. I grew up having a hustle. You know what it's like. You have to hustle. You got to make it happen. My mom was real supportive of me for sure. But I had this drive and this work ethic and I got to make it happen. And I'm hustling like you was hustling. But now I got these kids, they wasn't born in the hustle. They private school if they want.
Yeah, that's what we doing. Yeah,
So how do you navigate that? What's the highs and lows of having some rich kids, eh? Because you know what I'm saying? I got some highs and lows. Like it's some good and bad. What is your situation looking like?
Man, first of all, man, I got some amazing kids.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
And they different, and I see a lot of me in both of them. My son is just a natural star. Like he just got, you know when you got them kids that ain't got to try hard at nothing, he just good at everything.
I see him online. He's saucy.
He's just saucy.
Yeah.
When it comes to even sports and even recording music or whatever, it's like it just comes so easy for him.
Yeah.
To me, it was like that for me though. I was sports or whatever, so I can do anything.
Yeah.
Oh, what we skateboarding, I can do all this stuff.
Yeah.
You know. So one thing I like about my kids is they don't look at it as in, daddy just got all this money and we just gonna spend all this money like that.
Okay.
Well, my daughter a little different. The
That's
girls
how my
a little
daughter is, too.
different. Like now they want
Everything.
they want the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, but my son is not, and he don't take it. That's one thing I love about him. He don't try to take advantage of that.
Okay.
He the type of person I gotta beg him to get something. You know, he don't really want a lot.
Okay.
He not asking for no money. It's almost like, it's one of those things.
That's great.
So that's a great thing.
Yeah.
You know, he's not, Dad, I need this. I want that. Or
Yeah.
If he wants something, it's like, I want these pair of shoes. But if they cost too much. Okay, well, I'm gonna try to get
I
these.
need one of them kids.
Yeah.
I ain't got one of them. My kids be like,
nah, Dad, that's too much. Nah, okay. Well, can I get the Kobe's cost? Dang, they cost $2,000. Well, no. Maybe I get the KDs. I can get the K. They got, the KDs. They look good too. And I love. You know what that make me do? Go buy the Kobe's.
Man, you did something right with that one.
Yeah,
you did it right. Well, I mean, I think, and my kids ain't definitely like give me the most expensive ones, but they definitely are. Like it ain't nothing to them.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I seen your kids pile into a Sprinter. You got Sprinters there.
Yeah.
And they just
they just spoiled now.
It's normal life.
Yeah.
What we taking, Dad? We taking the Sprinter? What we taking the Rolls? What we taking, Daddy? What we taking to get to the spot?
My daughter eat that up.
Okay.
If I got whatever new car with volleyball practice, Dad, let's ride in that. So everybody can come out and, ooh, this your car, this y'all. That's how my daughter is.
Yeah,
she like that.
Okay.
But my daughter is a lot like me. Her heart, how sweet she is, how she just got that. She's special.
Yeah.
She's definitely special, man. So
what do you think is tough about, because an artist got to do a lot of traveling, got to do a lot of late nights in the studios and different stuff like that. What is tough about a producer's life in terms of trying to be a family man, you know what I'm saying, and be with your kids? Like, I don't know, is it studio nights? Is it having to show up at the club and it's late? Like, is there anything that you see is a little difficult?
Man, it's been such a blessing being a producer because I can work from home much as I want to. I can travel when I want to. If I want to do shows and do all that, but I'm not an artist. I'm not just the forefront guy all the time. So I can still go and play. People know who I am, but I still can go to the mall. I still can go all these places with my family and not get, harassed too much.
Now, I know when you go to the mall, bro. Cats
they do.
Hey, bro. Hey.
They do.
I'm a rapper, bro.
All the time. But at the same time, it's like, it's still a respect and it's a certain type of, if I was a major rapper, I can't do that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because everybody just going to hound me. But people can be like, oh, Zay, what up, Zay? Oh, Zay, you know, I get that a lot. So, or can
Yeah.
I take a picture? That's cool.
Yeah.
So just being able to do that, not being a prisoner to being like super famous or whatever that's one of the biggest blessings to me.
So let's talk about you working with us over here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I found 1K Few because of you, because he worked with you initially.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it was like, what was it? Church Gone Wild. Church Gone Wild.
Yeah,
Church Gone Wild.
Yeah.
And I was like, who is this? You know what I'm saying? So what inspired you to start trying to get mixed up with a lot of these young Christian rappers and gospel rappers? You know what I mean?
But if I had it my way, it would have been that from the beginning. You know what I mean? If it was you gotta think, bro, I'm a church guy. All I listen to is gospel music. So it's like, if it was my way, that's what I would have been doing, just gospel music.
Got you.
But that ain't what God had for me. God had to take me over here to make me somebody in this world just for the credibility.
Yeah.
So when I come back to doing gospel or this and that, it really means something like, you know?
Yeah. So, I mean, you know, we had a '1 on Let the Trap Say Amen. And then, you know, won Dove Awards and so on and so forth. So how did your parents, you know, what did they feel a way about that?
You know, that's their proudest moment.
Really?
You know what I mean? Of course. It's like, for me, it's a very proud moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's like, dang, now I done got into this world, you know, in the gospel. I always wanted to be in it.
Yeah.
It's, believe it or not, it's hard to get in the gospel space, bro. It's like, so when you told me you want to do a project with me, I was like, oh, bro, this crazy. Because all I know about you is, in gospel hip hop, there's nobody close to being as big as Lecrae. Like, he's the guy.
Yeah. Which
you know
is
what I
crazy.
mean? No, straight up.
Yeah.
Now, I'm a guy, I listen to gospel music. I listen to Quartet.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a real gospel
old school
guy. Yeah. I'm in new, you know, I'm into the new gospel too, but it's like I'm just a gospel guy. So gospel hip hop wasn't really my thing. I was working with my little brother, Amos, and he got big in gospel rap. Okay. Because he was at New Birth, and Bishop Longer put him up every time before he preached.
Got you.
Now, this is my little brother now that I'm just, you know, we used to live in the basement together.
Yeah.
We making songs all the time. I used to rap with him. I used to gospel rap with him. But he just got too good. Oh man, I got so many songs.
We need that, Zay. You gotta run that
all
back.
That. I got all that.
Yeah.
But you know how it is, like, well, hold on, man. He too good rapping. I don't even need to rap.
Okay, I feel you.
Let him rap, because I ain't good like he is.
Yeah.
And I started seeing him. It's the first time he put my little brother up and at New Birth, and it's like 25,000 people. And my brother had a song called The Question. And I sit here and watch him do this song. I'm talking about recite this song word for word. Everybody standing up. I'm in the back like, golly.
Yeah.
So I was thinking my success was just gonna be in that. Gospel rap. We had New Birth. Is like, okay, this thing's looking up for us right here.
Yeah.
This
like
Gucci Man stuff. Yeah, this the thing. This Gucci Man stuff. All this stuff come from a whole nother back door. Like,
yeah.
I didn't see that over there.
God had a different plan.
That's what I'm saying, a different plan.
God had a different plan. Yeah. I'm personally, the thing I admire the most about you is, man, you really just are consistent, bro. Like you stay where, I feel like this. You are a better picture of Jesus to a lot of people than what folks understand. Because people always say, you know, Jesus hung with the sinners, but really the sinners hung with Jesus because he was the type of person they wanted to be around.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what I see with you. I see they want to be around Zay. It ain't Zay fighting like, hey, can I hang out with y'all?
No.
Hey, can I kick it with y'all? It's like, they want to be around you. Folks like your energy, your attitude, your consistency, your family. Yeah. And to me, that's something that I admire and I respect.
That's
you know what I'm
big,
saying?
That's crazy.
I admire it to the T. Man, I'm walking through the airport one day and I see, I didn't almost recognize him because he looked so clean, face was clean, everything. I see Gucci coming off the plane. And I'm like, what's up? You know, Guwab, it's Lecrae. He said, oh, yeah, I know Zay told me all about you, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, wow. You know what I'm saying? Like, him stopping, having a conversation, coming from his world, and us just chopping it up, and it's because you was that glue. You know what I'm saying? You was that glue. And who knows what the Lord can will stir up and what'll make happen, but you being a consistent person in their lives, man, you the only Bible some of them dudes ever gonna read. You know what I'm saying? And so I just feel like you're right. Like God put you in that space for a specific time. And even for me, somebody who is like, I get to Atlanta and I'm like, man, I really want to reach the community, but I ain't trying to be on some extra like, you know, weird type of vibes. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like, man, I do the project with you, bro. I ain't never had no conversation with nobody from Migos, nobody from QC till we did that project. My DMs, Offset hit me, bruh. This joint don't even sound like gospel. It sound like, man, it's so good. I'm at events. I see, you know, Kim K. I see Cardi B. They all like, bro, oh, we heard your joint. I'm like, this is crazy.
It's crazy.
But I thank you for that because, man, they may have never listened if you wasn't attached to that. Man, you know what I'm saying? So
you did the same thing for me because there's so many people that come to me like, man, that's what you did with Lecrae. Like that's all they know. They don't know. They don't care about none of the other music I did with no other artist. That you and Lecrae, man. That's, you know, that's what we when I at my kids' school. They'll play the whole album. You know, it's a Christian school. So basketball games, they gonna play the Zaytoven Lecrae album every song.
So you know, you backdoored it with Few, which I feel like that Pray for Atlanta project is next level stupid. You know what I'm saying?
I'm proud of, man. I'm just proud to be working with Few. Bro.
Next level stupid. That one is like you pulled in Honcho, y'all got Dro,
Pastor Troy. We just
Pastor Troy. I'm like, man, like to me, I'm like, man, you really pioneering something, and it's like you may get all of the credit in the world for the stuff you done with Future and Gucci and everyone else. But man, you're gonna get honors in the kingdom of heaven for the stuff you done, you know, for young dudes like Few, you know what I'm saying, and so on and so forth. So man, I want to make sure we give you your flowers, man.
Appreciate it, brother.
Before we go though, I gotta take you what we call underwater.
Okay.
So underwater is when we like we gonna ask the tough questions. Okay. And just, you know, you sink or swim. You know what I'm saying? So that's what you. And if you got one for me, you can ask me one too. You know what I'm saying? It's all good if you think about something. So, what song that you worked on do you wish you could pull it back?
Don't Play With Me by Young Dolph.
Wow.
Cause it got so, you know, it turned into something totally different.
Yeah.
And I didn't make that. Like I rock with Yo Gotti. Like it's my buddy. Like Yo Gotti come to my house every day. Dolph my real buddy. So, you know, I didn't know whatever they had going on, but just the fact that when Dolph did that song, first thing he is Zaytoven. And it's like, and he just going extra hard on Gotti. And I ain't into that. I don't know what they had going on, but just now it's like I'm a part of it now. And it's like, man, I don't. You know what that mean? I mean, you gotta let the trap say man too now. You gotta you gotta start working on some other stuff. Yeah, straight up. So
yeah. Man, you got one for me? You got a question? You got a thought?
So, all right. So now, do you listen to secular rap music now?
I do, but you know, for me, I was never the type of person that was like, I was never the type of person that was like, you know, I got this answer for you should or you shouldn't. I was more like, I'm trying to process it. And then what happened for me was I lived in Memphis for 3 years. And when I was in Memphis working with a lot of the kids in my neighborhood and stuff, they just was like, we like some of your songs, but they don't sound like this. And they would play me Jeezy and Gotti and all this type of stuff. And it's like, you have to know, like you can't be no good painter if you don't look at Picasso's, and you can't be a good basketball player if you don't look at non-Christian basketball players. So I think music the same way. Like, how can I be good at something if I'm not studying the people who are great at it? You know what I'm saying? So yeah. And I mean, you know, sometimes I'm not really a big lyric person either. Sometimes I can just be listening and jamming to that mug. I'm not thinking about all the stuff they saying. Some people, like my wife, she like, turn that off. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, I ain't even pay attention to it. It was just jamming to me. So
I think that's one of my, like, issues, bro. It's like I've been in church all my life, and I just grew up on Winans Commission. Just I know every word, every lyric to every song.
Yeah.
I heard Dre Day. You know, when you get around your family members, they got a Walkman. They got they listen to other music.
Yeah.
And I heard
The
Dre
Chronic.
Day, the
Yeah.
Chronic.
Yeah.
Bro, that jump blew my mind. And I'm talking about I caught myself, I'm on like a drug. It's like, bro, I gotta hear this every day.
Yeah.
I gotta listen to I watch my kids or watch my son.
Yeah.
He like that. When he like music, he wanna listen to it all
the
day.
time.
And it's like, man, why that's done reckless.
Oh, yeah.
But
Yeah.
I understand, even though I was in love with the music, it didn't make me like
Wanna go do that.
Yeah, I didn't want to be that or do that. It's just the music and
Yeah.
all that stuff. Just like, man, this is amazing to me.
Yeah.
So
I got to process. I don't have the answer. I'm processing like, I know we are spiritual and we flesh.
Mhm.
I know our flesh wants some of that negative
yeah,
stuff.
definitely.
So I don't want to feed that with my kids. I'm like, but at the same time, it's not like they want to become that
Yeah,
either.
yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? I want my kids to appreciate good music.
Yeah.
So I'm not like, hey, you
Yeah.
can't listen to this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I also work hard to like put them on to like dope Christian music.
Mhm.
And I like, yo, no, check out Doe or check
Yeah,
out 1K or
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And like all of the stuff like that. So I try to mix it up, but
Yeah.
you know, it's like, man, that's
It's tough. It's tough.
That's just welcome to parenthood, bro.
Yeah, that's it. Because I know when I was listening to it, my parents called me listening to it. Man, they taking that radio and throwing it out the window. Like, boy, you done lost your mind.
What you listening to? What? Yo, yeah.
And I don't know why I'm listening to it. I just know I like it. Like, man, I don't know.
But
what this
would
is.
you be the producer you are? Had you
I
not
wouldn't.
heard? That's what I'm saying.
But my parents even understand that now.
Yeah.
Now, my parents can actually listen to a song I produced that
Yeah.
it might be sound like Usher.
Yeah.
Hey, he's saying a lot of just, crazy stuff in it. But it's like, okay.
yeah.
That don't hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
I don't,
yeah.
to me, I remember a preacher saying at a funeral one time, and it's like the mama came up here cussing and all that, and it's like, man, that ain't hurting God. That ain't God
Yeah.
can handle that.
Yeah,
that ain't,
for sure.
We
Word.
can't turn these people away just because of that,
Yeah.
because of language, or we feel sensitive or certain, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I learned from that as well.
Bible got some strong language.
Strong
in
in
it,
Bible, yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Some
yeah.
strong content too. So I feel you on that, man. I gotta give you your flowers. You are a human being, and I think people have expectations and they want you to do it perfectly. But you got to give people credit for being in the process. You know what I'm saying? You in the process. You in there. Say folks sitting in the chairs throwing rocks like, what is this and what's that? But you like, nah, I'm really in here.
Yeah.
Like, ain't nobody gonna be able to have a conversation about God with Gucci better than I would.
Yep.
And that's what I respect about you,
yes,
bro.
sir.
So
Yes, sir.
I'm honored, man. So we got to get back in there.
Oh no, that's got to happen.
Part 2 happening now.
It got
happening.
to. Like, I ain't gonna lie, Lecrae. I feel like, bro, we supposed to been had this in
You
the
right.
bag.
You right. We going round 2.
We did-
This,
we
this
did
time
that.
we gotta level up.
No, we're gonna level up for sure.
Yeah.
We did what that was 18, right?
18.
Yeah, so okay, it's time.
2018. Yeah,
We
we gotta
overdue.
level up this time and really like you know what I'm saying, do something crazy.
It's supposed to, like, to me, man, some of this stuff, it's supposed, to me, when I did Beast Mode with Future, it's like supposed to happen.
Yeah, you right.
It's like, why
right.
wouldn't it happen?
All right, y'all heard it here. Let the trap say, man, 2 is coming.
It's coming, baby.
It's coming.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Now I got you locked in. I got you recorded
Hey,
now.
let's
so
go. My dog.
I'm gonna keep playing this for you. I'm gonna send it to you, text it to you. Like, you remember what you said now.
Hey, man, shout out to Zaytoven, man. Anything you got coming up you want people to, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, I got a lot coming up, but I'm bad at spoiling surprises. So
All right.
just stay
locked in.
Stay
locked in.
Yeah.
Sign up for his program. He doing all kinds of stuff, helping producers,
sir. Yes,
all
sir.
that type of junk. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? So lock in. Love.
Salute.